Welcome to another episode of the horrid, bloody, despicable apocalypse. This evening, or last evening, there was an Antifa roundtable held by the Reich, televised. I'd like to begin by saying Antifa doesn't exist. Therefore, if the Reich is willing to put on 2 hours worth of theater pretending that a group exists that does not exist, what does that mean for you, son? Well, that means they're going to have to label real people Antifa. That's you, if you are not down with the Reich. That is the table they are setting for you. That should scare the fuck out of you. Now let's begin. Again, during the Antifa roundtable, and you got a Fox News Chiron here. I believe this was during the roundtable meeting. Not roundtable, but, Antifa meeting. So what does the Chiron say for the adjudicated defamers here? We're admitted defamers by paying $750 million to the people they defamed. Intentionally. For a con man. So we could have a dictatorship. Epidemic of left-wing violence escalating. Where is this epidemic? Where's the footage? I haven't fucking seen it. Oh, that's right. You're just making it up. The whole network lying again. Donnie, the Reich, everybody, all of you that dare spout this bullshit. Where's the footage of the left-wing violent epidemic? Because all I keep seeing, son, disingenuous cunts out there that want to make arguments. All I'm seeing is priests, young women, babies getting glass shattered all over them. By, low rent, fat ass, masked thugs. Destined for the lake, son. Only place they going. That's all I'm seeing. I'm only seeing priests get maced, shot with pepper balls. That's all I'm seeing. Where's this left-wing violence you abject cunts destined for the lake keep talking about? Oh, that's right, it doesn't exist. It's just a narrative. The same narrative Hitler used back in the 30s. The literal same one. And again, how did that work out, rubes? Disingenuous cunts, adjudicated criminals, Greasy Pete, etc. How did that work out for Germany? That whole Reich thing, concentration camp thing. And if you guys were so proud of it back then, why'd you death march everybody? Try to hide it. I thought it was a great, wonderful thing. According to you Nazi cunts, destined for the lake. Every last one of you, son, lest you turn away. But I know very few of you will. You wouldn't have been down with any of it in the first place if you had any redeemable qualities. Or you were redeemable. So most of you are not. So again, the Chiron, the bullshit by the adjudicated defamers, Fox News, and that's news in quotes. Because when they go into court, their argument always is, well, no one would actually believe what we say. We're just entertainment. Oh, so that makes it okay for you to lie about people, defame people, like the adjudicated criminal did to me. Oh, no, son, it doesn't. Not at all. And again, I ain't seeing this wave of left-wing violence that you people just fabricated out of thin air. I do see masked men with guns. Fat asses, most of them. $3 assholes who would never get a paycheck this big unless they were willing to sell their goddamn soul to kidnap people in a mask. And you paying that paycheck, son. This is what Donnie said. This is the first clip of all this that I saw. I couldn't fucking believe it. My God, the theater they put on for this one, boy. We took the freedom of speech away. We know, Donnie, and we know, I knew anyway. I know a lot of you out there didn't, because I can tell by the comments you're making. You still think there's hope, that this ain't what it is. You're mistaken, son. That's why I'm here. Talking to all two of you. Because that's all the adjudicated criminal Google lets me talk to. And that's after they defamed me and shut me down 19 times for the mob. And now for the Reich. They really pick their friends well, don't they? Mobsters. That lie, send bots and trolls, say the most vile thing about their own husband who died. Wow. And the Reich, who will put many of you that work for Google in camps. Why? Because you don't look right, son. This is a Reich. This is a Nazi Reich. You didn't notice? The Nazi salute? You will later. Don't worry. Don't worry. We took the freedom of speech away. We know, and we know that was always the plan. At least I did. That's what I've been yelling for fucking 10 years. Because that's been through the courts, and the courts said you have freedom of speech. Oh, you mean the illegitimate courts that just show fealty to a man and don't give a fuck about the Constitution? Those cunts destined for the lake? That's who you're talking about? Courts said you have freedom of speech, but what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. Well, any speech that people don't like would agitate and irritate a crowd. That means we should get rid of free speech, right? Right, disingenuous right-wing cunts? Right, adjudicated criminals that run websites? That took Russian money for 20 years? All of you? Every website? We should just do away with it, right? We should be like your model. So a bunch of corporate cunts and cubicle fuckheads get to decide who gets to broadcast and who can't, right? Adjudicated defamers, fine. Guy that never had a cease and desist, never had a case against him, ever. Spotless fucking record. Despite what all you cunts tried to do, not fine. We're going to see who's fine at the lake. Don't worry, son. Everybody having fun right now. I know. I've known my whole life. I've watched so many of you cunts out there having fun. There's an old saying that I made up many years ago. It's all fun and games till that fire hit your ass. So this fat orange cunt is telling us that, he went through his courts, made sure to pick sycophants. Like that woman down in Florida, that fat bitch. I can't even remember her name. She's so forgettable. Oh, yeah, the judge that got assigned to the Jan 6 and all that, conveniently. I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter. She's lake fodder anyway. So when you burn a flag, now all of a sudden that's illegal according to the Reich. And Donnie's saying the courts made that decision. I don't know if they actually did. But they would do it for Donnie if he wanted them to. We took the freedom of speech away. Yep, that's the intent. You're seeing all the websites conform. You're seeing society conform to this cunt and his Reich. full of criminals. Literal criminals. Attorney General covering for a pedophile president, covering for a sex trafficker, and spends her time yelling in hearings because she's in an indefensible position of defending a pedophile and a sex trafficker, and she knows it. She watched the footage, son. And she still made the decision to go along and protect all these people. Only one place that activity ends up, son. I'll let you guess where that is. So Donnie took the freedom of speech away. Yeah, we know. We're watching that whole process play out because, in a Reich, you can't have freedom of speech because then you're free to point out evil. But let's be honest, right-wing politics and all you rubes that are involved in it for how many, 80 years? You only wanted free speech for you because you don't believe in anything and you're evil. So they also invited a bunch of hack podcasters financed by Russia and various oligarchs and the RNC and all that. All worthless waste of oxygen hacks that are shilling for the downfall of their nation and the Reich so they can get a lot of money out of it and fame. Not a one of them has any talent. They'd be nothing without their financiers. That's the only reason they're on camera. And the websites let them say whatever the fuck they want. And they never take them down. Even after they're proven shills for Russia. I took this flag from the man that was burning it in the street. This is a man named Sortor. I've heard of him. Not much. Again, all these cunts are so forgettable. They're all carbon copy nothings destined for the lake. Not a shred of talent or soul in any of them. That's why they're promoted by traitors who sold out our country. Adjudicated criminals even. So we're going to have some theater where this person allegedly took a flag that was being burned. I did the high jump yesterday. I jumped 30 feet over the bar. You believe me, right? That's about as fucking true as this flag story. Holy fuck, this is pathetic. Again, Goebbels and Hitler would have been blushing at this bullshit. It's so obviously transparent. And we still got people debating, talking about the law, talking about this going to happen to them, that's going to happen to them. Nope. They had a plan and they are fucking executing it. And everyone's just sitting back watching. No one's doing a fucking thing. It was over on the 20th of January. And it's never coming back. So you better proceed accordingly. And I mean everyone out there. Trump says, do you know who he is, the person that burned this flag? The fake person that doesn't exist. Because this is all theater, every second of it. And this is what it looked like. Here's the low-rent, $3, talentless, soulless traitors to our nation podcasters. I don't even know the names of these fucking degenerates. Nor do I fucking care. Sorter's the one with the burn-up flag. He probably did that in his fucking basement or something. Sorter, oh yeah, he knows who did it. Well, why don't you name him? Oh, that's because they don't exist. And you're a cunt shilling for the Reich, destined for the lake. Trump, so why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General and we'll start prosecutions. According to who? When did this become illegal? And a convicted felon, straight up pedophile. Jeff Epstein's best friend is talking about locking people up for burning flags. What about locking people up for being Epstein clients, son? No? Only when your man's his best friend and best client, then let's not lock him up, right? Again, that's why your country's over, and that's why you're destined for the lake. Sorry. I didn't make the choices in your life. You did. Blame yourself, son. You thought the evil was fun. You wanted to point to everybody for 20 fucking years because Vlad told you to, and Fox News told you to, and cunts like Donnie told you to, and call them pedophiles. Meanwhile, you motherfuckers literally shilling for the pedophile in chief, and everybody fucking knows it. Again, like I said so many times, you people believe in nothing. That's why it's all over. I'm sorry. Reason number 30 million. Again, all you people knew better. When you're crying at the end. When we're all crying at the end. I wonder if you'll think you still knew better. That'll be interesting. So Donnie telling a third-rate, soulless, talentless, heavily financed podcaster by some nefarious entity, hey, give that fake Burt flag that you just made up a story about to Pam and we'll make up a story and we'll arrest somebody. Because we got to get this right fucking rolling here. I need to arrest people. I need them to forget I'm Jeff Epstein's best friend. I need them to forget I'm a convicted felon and traitor to this nation. Unbelievable. Here's the puppy killer who should really go on the cheesesteak diet. I recommend it. And what you're seeing with Miss Noam and Donnie and several others, that's the evil on the inside. Eating its way to the outside. That's why they look the way they look. I'm serious. But the cheesesteak diet would help cover up some of the decline on the outside that the evil's doing. Help a little bit. But she ain't interested. She's interested in Satan. And don't worry, he has a home for her. Same home Satan's going to have. It's called the lake. We are hoping we will get more and more information about the network. Oh, take a look at the lovely woman. Puppy killer. And she wanted to shoot Biden's dog, too. She wrote it in a book. That was the big reveal ending where she walks into the White House with Donnie and she shoots the dog. The dog of God. Who bit fucking traitors. Because he could tell, son. Animals have that power. I don't know if you noticed. And I noticed he mostly, almost exclusively, only bit Secret Service. I wonder why. Let's finish with the puppy killer here. And her hard extensions. Because she's probably going bald. Because that's, when you don't eat, that's what happens to you. Whatever. That's her bag. My favorite line by her is when Mr. Swalwell said in a hearing to this cunt, I really want people to be able to take you seriously because you're lying your fucking ass off. He didn't say that part, but that's what he's trying to say. And she's like, oh, everyone takes me seriously. No, puppy killer, no one takes you seriously. Absolutely fucking no one. You're a punchline. And your destiny is the lake. I'm sorry. You thought the Reich was cool. You thought sending masked men to round people up at gunpoint is cool. You thought shooting puppies is cool. You thought shooting Biden's dog would be cool. That's why you're going where you're going. I'm sorry. Let's continue on this fake bullshit. We are hoping we will get more and more info about the network that doesn't exist and how we can route them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society. Eliminate, you say. A group that doesn't exist. Therefore, they got to name people that do exist. That should terrify you. And they're saying it out loud. And again, this is all theater. None of it exists. Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, TDA, ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas, all of them. Really? They are just as dangerous. They don't exist. The fact that this cunt is saying they do and comparing them to Islamic terrorists and drug cartels should scare the fuck out of you. You know why? Because where it's going next is they start pointing to specific people and saying, Antifa, anyone against the Reich. That's where it's going. That's the table being set right here. By the puppy killer, destined for the fucking lake. Who no one takes seriously. Now we've got Miss Bondi, the pedophile protector, literally, in Florida and here. In a shocking moment, AG Pam Bondi suggests that the DOJ will execute American citizens they deem as Antifa. Just like we did with the cartels, we're going to take the same approach with Antifa. What's the approach they took against the fishermen? I mean, cartels. Well, they just killed them all. So why did Miss Bondi say that? Well, she wants to let you know that the Reich wants to kill you after they label you Antifa. I'm not kidding. You think she said that by mistake, son? Because I ain't seen any action against cartels. All I've seen is fishing boats get blown up. And then they make jokes about it. And then they make threats against the rest of us. They're going to do the same thing to us. That's what this cunt destined for the lake is saying. Who's protecting an abject pedophile, and every fucking body knows it. Here's someone pointing out Donnie. Oh, I want you to see what that looked like as well. I want you to get, really get a sense of the decline of your nation, this fake-ass Reich meeting. Complete fabrication, a group that doesn't even exist. Are suddenly as bad as Tren de Aragua now. And, the person says, this attorney general is unhinged. No, she's not unhinged. She's a Nazi who wants to kill people and exterminate people. That's what Nazis believe. And again, every educated person, politician, human being on the planet, you saw the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day, right? So where the fuck do you think this is going? When she compares a fake group that doesn't exist, Antifa, to Tren de Aragua and says we're going to handle it the same way we handle those fishing boats. I mean, drug cartels. I didn't see him take on any major cartels in Mexico or on land. Why? Because they shoot back, son. And they got guns the same as the fucking army has. They don't want none of that noise. That's why they go to Home Depots. That's why they deploy on street corners, the National Guard, to fuck with, black people that walk by. Or a priest. Or mace a girl in the face. They don't want no real action, son. That's why they're blowing up fishing boats instead of going on land and taking on the compounds. The guys with machine guns. They don't want none of that fucking action. Our military is not what it fucking used to be. I can tell by the motherfuckers walking out National Guard. they're going to be in some big surprises. They're going to come across some smart, well-equipped motherfuckers in this little annexation bullshit, going around the world doing what they doing. And they're going to get their asses whooped. Hopefully you're not in the squad that happens to, son. But, it's only going to be your fault. You should have put the gun down before the Reich deployed you. But you went along. Or you're going to go along. I already know that about you. So no, the Attorney General isn't unhinged. These people plan this before the election. That's why this theater is going on right now. This is planned a long fucking time ago. It's a plan. It's not mania. They all know what they're doing. And they ain't as stupid as you think they are. So again, Donnie, someone pointed this out. Donnie started falling asleep in the Reich meeting about the fake group Antifa that doesn't exist. Trump's mouth starts drooping as he struggles to stay awake during this Antifa roundtable. I guess the adrenaline was like running off or wearing off, right? The cocktail they pump him up with every day. That's why his hand's all bruised the fuck up. Speaking of hand bruised the fuck up, I forgot this was the next picture. That's a serious condition and it's not going away. Check it out. Something new's going on with the bruise. What is that? Oh, that's Donnie's best friend. That's Donnie's Messiah who died for his sins. Or should I say was murdered for his sins. But he still died for Donnie's sins. Not his. It's like, a piece of toast where you see the face of Christ on it and shit. Same thing. Fucking brilliant work, whoever did that. Fucking brilliant. Okay, here's Donnie again. In all his orange fucking glory. They're like insurrectionists. Oh, you mean like Donnie and the Reich and the Rubes that stormed the Capitol? You're just inverting reality again? They're terrible people. You mean like you, Donnie? You're projecting again? But you really wonder why. Why are they doing it? There is no they. They made it up. What are they gaining? Nothing, because they don't exist. Other than they're obviously paid. No, they're not, because they don't exist. They're paid a lot of money. So, setting the table to arrest rich liberals and say they're funding Antifa. That's where this is going. And it was going there before the election, son. Again, that's why I was yelling. Too late now. Never mind, it's all over. So setting the stage to arrest rich liberals for the, 90th time. And he's going to do it. Again, Donnie in all his stupor and glory. Looks great, doesn't he? Shame the American experiment had to end for this piece of shit. And all the pieces of shit that support him. What a shame. Could have been a great country. Instead, they gave all the money to Greasy Pete, Leon, Altman, Argentina. There's compelling proof that Antifa did infiltrate on January 6th. This is a question by some hack. These are all pre-prepared, loaded fucking questions for this piece of theater. There's compelling proof that Antifa did infiltrate on January 6th, dressed up like Trump supporters and incited violence because Antifa got the president they wanted. And then they said, you know what? Let's riot for the Reich. Because we just feel like it. Is that something you'd like the new J6 committee to look at? Oh, wow, there's going to be another J6 committee to erase history. Isn't that interesting? Trump, well, I've heard of that. Yeah, we will be acting on some of that. Every single question Donnie knew he was going to get before he answered it. Do you understand that? So everyone making jokes, never mind, I'll wait till later to say that, when I get to it. So pure theater, and did you think this lie through, Rubes? I know the geriatrics and Rubes out there, they'll just run with the talking point, because that's all they care about. They don't care about the truth, morality, decency, America, the children, their fellow citizens, themselves. Nothing. Did you think this lie through, idiots? So eager to do that evil. Donnie pardoned all the J6 people. You fucking liars. So what we say in here, he pardoned Antifa? He pardoned FBI agents? Nope. Just $3 rubes that rub shit on the walls of the Capitol. That's all. That's all they were. You're really going to run with this? And again, I know all you people want is a talking point. But are we going to run with the story that he pardoned a bunch of Antifa people? And while discussing exterminating Antifa members or U.S. citizens, because that's what they're really talking about, that aren't down with the Reich. That's all that they're talking about in this entire thing. In between that, after deploying your military against you, after deploying masked men with machine guns to kidnap people and harass U.S. citizens and kidnap them too, after opening concentration camps and doing commercials and press conferences at them, after blowing up fishermen, after bombing, 4 countries now? I can't remember. We're going to talk about the Nobel Peace Prize because that's going to be announced 5 days or something. And this disgusting fucking ape thinks he has a chance. The Antichrist still thinks he has a chance at the Nobel. Again, I think he'll make them give it to him at gunpoint or something eventually. But I don't think he's going to get it this time. Here we go. Question. Loaded question, already known that was going to be asked. Nobel Peace Prize will be announced on Friday. You have been nominated. Do you think you will win? Trump. We settled 7 wars. No, we didn't. He didn't settle any wars. Even the Gaza-Palestine thing, that's peace at the barrel of end of a barrel of a gun. We're close to settling an 8th. No, you're not. I think we'll end up settling the Russia situation. Really? When? Because you're Vlad's bitch, and he proves that daily. So how are you going to stop that? Nobody in history has settled that many. Actually, they have, because you've settled 0. Perhaps they'll find a reason not to give it to me. Again, there's a million reasons not to give. He's one of the most vile, divisive individuals, warmongers, murderers I've ever seen. He gave the okay to kill those fishermen. Or cartel, whatever they were. No trial, no nothing, just dead. And that's what the Reich likes to do. That's how they like to operate. And again, they'll find a reason not to give. Yeah, there's a million reasons not to give it to you. Deployed his own military against his own people. Masked men with machine guns running around kidnapping people, including U.S. citizens. Priests getting shot in the head with pepper balls. For now, eventually it'll be bullets. That's where this is going, son. You think they're going to use paint guns forever? Oh, fuck no. There's 50 zillion reasons. I've never seen a less deserving individual for a peace prize than this fat orange cunt. You're pedophile messiah. That's not drama either. That's not the slightest exaggeration. Sue me for it, son. And let's have discovery. Why do you think I don't get sued when I say Google took Russian money for 20 years, son? Why do you think they don't do anything about that? Because they know one subpoena of their financials will show about, I don't know, $1 trillion from Russia. Or 100 million that Vlad stole back. That's why, son. Why don't the mob ever send me a cease and desist, try and take me to court, try and sue me? Because discovery, son. And they know I'm smarter than them and their lawyer. That's why. We have another Jack Posobiec straight up fucking hack shill again, financed by somebody nefarious. Waste of oxygen, destined for the lake. Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years, in some instances going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany. Oh, you mean to fight Hitler? Those horrible people? Are they trying to get revenge for Antifa members back then? Going after Hitler? Is that what this is? Is that part of this? No, it's just, again, it's what Hitler did. First they came for the socialists. And I didn't speak out. Same playbook. I'll prove it in a moment further. Not that it's not been proven already. Antifa may have been a real organization back in Hitler's day. It's not one now. It's nothing. It doesn't exist. So I don't... Again, these people are making a historical reference of these evil Antifa people took on Adolf Hitler. And that's bad. Holy fuck. Mr. Posobiec, your reservation for the lake is fucking cure. The Democratic Socialists, that's where they're about to go, are in league with Antifa. But Antifa and the Democratic Socialists took on Hitler back in the day. And they're all evil. But I thought Hitler was a socialist. That's what you disingenuous lying cunts always say, right? No? These were the socialists? Greasy Pete, Leon, your stories aren't adding up. But they aren't the only two cunts that told that story. Right-wing politicians have been telling that story since 1945. That Hitler was a socialist. But wait a minute, you're saying Antifa and the socialists are socialists. I thought Hitler was a socialist. No? Here's the proof, again. That they just want to lock up liberals, the same playbook as Adolf Hitler. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely based on research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team are the Democratic Socialists of America. Wow, they just going straight to Hitler territory. They're naming groups that were, going on back in the 30s. And again, I thought Hitler was a socialist. So they're making it clearer and clearer. Antifa, that doesn't exist. Therefore, that's evidence that they just want to go after liberals and label them something. It gets worse, too. Now they've named the Democratic Socialists. Why don't Jack just change his name to Adolf? Why don't Donnie just change his name to Adolf? Because they're doing all the same things. Now we have two groups. This is Jonathan Coe who said that. I don't even know who that is. No one will know that is after this is all over and he's in the lake, so won't even remember his existence. He'll just be erased. As will everyone at this table. Not by humans. By the man, son. All these people claim to be Christians probably at this table. They've read it. They know what they're doing. They know who they're serving. And they know where they're going. So we've got two groups now. The Democratic Socialists of America, named by a third-rate podcaster or somebody. I don't know who the fuck that is. And we've got, Antifa, Democratic Socialists. They're the enemy now. Not the guys in massive machine guns. Not the adjudicated rapist, defamer, fraud, Jeff Epstein's best friend, pedophile, traitor to his nation who staged a coup. They're not the bad guys. The convicted felon, it's Antifa that doesn't exist and the Democratic Socialists. The fact that they put on this entire piece of theater for you and the groups don't exist should scare the fuck out of you. Because they're going to make the groups exist by naming people. Of course, none of it will be real. Is that going to help you when you win the camp or dead by execution? No. At the hands of the Reich? No. Again, it doesn't matter what's true, not true, real, not real, law, not law. You gave the keys to Satan. He's going to do what he wants with them. Too late. Here's Donnie. Again, far-left extremists carrying out violence. Really, where I don't see it. All I see is masked goons with machine guns assaulting people and kidnapping them. Breaking up families. The man gonna have a talk with all of you. Enjoy it now, son. Enjoy it now. Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far-left extremist who inscribed the words, "Hey, fascist, catch," meaning catch the bullet, onto the bullet shelf itself. He said shelf. Not shell. Far-left extremist, you say. Actually, it was a white kid from the woods with his grandpappy's bold action. And first they put out the lie that he put transgender ideology on the bullets. Then we found out that wasn't true. Then they told the lie that he had a transgender roommate because they got desperate. Then they wrote a script that allegedly took place between the shooter and the transgender roommate that has now disappeared. No one knows where they are. No one knows if they even exist. What happened to the transgender roommate? Why isn't that mentioned anymore? I think you know the answer to that question, too. So the child was not a far-left extremist by any sense of the word. And that phrase, "Hey, fascist, catch," I believe that came from a video game. And he grew up in a right-wing, gun-loving, MAGA family. Not a blue-haired liberal, not a transgender. Is anything you people stand for real? Doesn't appear to be. Oh, this moment. I'll explain. This is almost as staged as his attempted assassination. That's not me saying that. That's Canada Hates Trump saying that. So I just want to make that clear to the adjudicated criminals out there conforming to the Reich right now. That took Russian money for 20 years? You know who I'm talking to. Little Marco came up to Donnie in the middle of the theater here and put on some more theater. whispered in Donnie's ear some fake bullshit. And then Donnie has, as a note, pre-prepared long before this bull, all theater. That says basically, we're getting closer to that Gaza-Israel, exchange of hostages and all that. We're getting closer to the deal. Why did Donnie stage this extra piece of theater during an Antifa meeting? For the Nobel Peace Prize, that's why. This sick fuck who has the maturity of a 4-year-old. That's the agenda. As he murders fishermen, as he deploys the military against us, our own military, as he sends mass goons to kidnap people, as more revelations of his close friendship with Jeff Epstein comes to light, birthday messages with young girls' bodies drawn around it, just to let us all know what it means and what they're talking about. So Donnie had little Marco come whisper in his ear, and then Donnie said, well, we're getting closer to that peace deal with Gaza and Israel. All of this pre-planned before the meeting began, including the question about, they're going to give out the Nobel Peace Prize soon. You've been nominated. Do you think you'll get it? This piece of theater with little Marco is an extension of that piece of theater. Do you think you'll get the Nobel? Discusses that in the middle of naming a fake terror group. And basically the table's saying we're going to come after anyone we feel like calling Antifa. And eliminate them from society. Next breath, maybe I'll get the Nobel, or maybe they'll find a reason not to give it to the Antichrist. Again, you're so lost. Anyone that has the remotest empathy or approval of this Reich thing that's going on, I will hear no arguments in favor of Satan and the Reich's son. Absolutely fucking not. From my best friend. I don't give a fuck who you is. Because all I hear out of anyone's mouth, giving the Reich the benefit of the doubt, defending them in any way, all I hear is Satan coming out your mouth, son. That's it, nothing else. Why? Because that's the Antichrist. That's a Reich that wants to kill people. They're talking about doing it at a round table in between bouts of asking for the Nobel Peace Prize. So if I know all of these people are of Satan, Greasy Pete, Leon, Donnie, just so many, Bondi, Levitt, and I know their intentions for you, the fool, the idiot out there, defending these people. If I know all that, and then you walk up to me, or online or whatever, and you start making excuses for the mob, or the Reich, or Satan, I'm not interested. I want to be real clear about this. To friends, former acquaintances, former viewers, former whatever, I will not follow you and your Antichrist to the fucking abyss. Not for one goddamn second. Ever. If you want to give up your soul, you want to give everything for and to the abyss, that's your goddamn prerogative. I am not fucking interested. I cannot walk that path with you, son. Ever. I'm sorry. Trump to Hannity. President Trump on the Israel-Hamas peace deal. The tariffs have brought peace to the world. I'm telling you, they brought peace to the world. Again, that's a attempt at getting that Nobel Peace Prize. Ask the farmers if the tariffs have brought peace to the world, son. Ask the people in concentration camps, did the tariffs bring peace to the world? Ask the companies that are eating the tariffs right now till they can't anymore if it brought peace to the world. Ask yourself when you go to the grocery store and you hit the checkout line and you got 5 items for $200. Ask yourself if the tariffs brought peace to the world and Donnie's business plan, which is grift every dollar he can steal from you. I mean, again, a complete fabrication, has no basis in reality. But Donnie wants a Nobel, and he wants to subjugate and kill you. If you're not down, if you're not of Satan like him, if you don't pledge loyalty to him, eventually that will come. That thing is saying out loud because a percentage of America is that stupid, biased, and evil. They'll run with the talking point because that's all they got is talking points. They got nothing else. Straight up fed by the Reich. We're at the point where Donnie's grift is being promoted as bringing peace to the fucking world. No, it brought money to Donnie's pocket. That's all that happened. Holy fuck. Using that as an avenue to get the peace. The irony of the Antichrist, the most evil fucking thing ever born. Wanting the Nobel. I don't understand why. You celebrate evil, you spout it daily. The fuck you want the Nobel for? One little piece of scripture after this. The tariffs have brought peace to the world. I'm telling you, they brought peace to the world. He stopped 8 wars. He did the Palestine-Israel peace thing. That's all done according to him. He's just a big peacemaker, right? We keep hearing this. Peace, safety, security, peace. From the devil's Messiah. What does Scripture say about that? For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That will go for Israel. That will go for America. Just letting you know. Mark it. This is a good example of Donnie pretending not to hear, not to understand, because he wasn't ready to preach this yet. Question, again at the Antifa roundtable. This is what he looked like. All this hunchback glory. Have you given any more thought to possibly suspending habeas corpus? Trump suspending who? Habeas corpus. Trump, I don't know. I'd rather leave that to Christie. But wait a minute. He acted like he didn't hear it at first. He acted like he didn't know what it was. Then he said, all you geniuses out there, and I like a lot of you. Then he said, I'd like to leave that to Christie, the Attorney General. Well, why would you need to do that? because Donnie doesn't want to say it out loud. That's what this theater is in a lot of ways. Donnie doesn't want to say everything he's planning out loud. He wants other people, reporters, fake podcasters financed by Russia, Miss Bondi, Miss No. They share the burden. Donnie doesn't want it all on him. That makes him the target of the animosity and the critique, doesn't it? It makes it look like it's all his ideas. That's why he has disingenuous cunts ask questions like, have you given any more thought to possibly suspending habeas corpus? Donnie knew exactly what he was asking. Donnie knows exactly what habeas corpus is. That's why he said, I'm going to throw it to Christie. Oh, excuse me. He said Kristi Noem, not AG. So DHS instead of the AG. My apologies. I mixed, they're both the same cunt destined for the lake, but I mix them up sometimes. So people were making jokes about this moment where Donnie, he doesn't even know what habeas corpus is, blah, blah, blah. Come on. He had Hitler's speeches next to his fucking bed. He read them every night. You think he doesn't know what habeas corpus is? He plans on building a Reich, a dictatorship. He staged a coup. You think he doesn't know what habeas corpus? Of course he fucking does. So I watch person after person that I like, and they've been doing this. A lot of you have been doing this for a long time. You keep making fun of him, calling him stupid, acting like this wasn't planned 10 years ago. 10 years ago. A lot of you are smart out there. I respect a lot of you, but you ain't taking this seriously enough. I know you think the Democrats are going to win the midterms and fuck all Donnie's plans up. You think a Democrat's going to win in 28? You think Donnie and the Reich would ever let any of that happen? I'm sorry, you're fucking mistaken if you think so. I wouldn't be here, son, warning you, guiding you, if that was the case. So all the people making fun of Donnie you'll see on Twitter online when he said this thing, I don't know what that. Spending who? He knew exactly what was being said and asked. He just didn't want to go there yet. And he doesn't want to be the only one saying all this. He needs other humans pretending they agree and they planned it too. Some of them did. Most of them did. Most of it's coming from Donnie, Stephen Miller, Leon, Thale, others like that. Yes, habeas corpus will be moot. Yes, martial law will be declared. They're already discussing it. All of it will happen. Yes, there will be camps. Yes, Jews will be rounded up. Yes, Christians will be rounded up. Anyone who doesn't take the mark will be rounded up. All will happen. This, exactly what I said way back in the beginning. When he first got power again, they talked about the roundups and deporting people before the election. Are you going to work with your administration to designate Antifa a foreign terror organization? Trump, you mean anti-terror? Question, Antifa. Trump, Antifa? A foreign terror organization. That's the operative phrase. That's why he repeated it. Trump, would you like to see it done? I'd be glad to do it. Does everyone agree? It sounds good to me. Class, do you think that was a legitimate organic moment, or do you think that was planned a week ago? This little exchange here. Again, Donnie plays the game that, I didn't really hear, I don't really know what he's talking about. And then at the end, it sounds good to me. That's because it was discussed ahead of time. And again, it's another point Donnie didn't want to bring up himself. That's why he has these all other actors in the fucking room. It's a piece of theater you're watching. He needs them to say some of this shit too. He can't be the only one saying it. Then he takes all the heat for it. Then it looks like he planned this 30 years ago. And he did. The operative phrase, which is why the disingenuous cunt who asked the question repeated it, because that was the point of the propaganda theater moment. That phrase, foreign terror organization. Are you going to designate Antifa that? That's the table being set, the table I told you about all the way back when he first got the keys again. They will deport U.S. citizens. That's where this was always going. It was never about fucking illegal immigrants. That's the doorway, Rubes, to you. You know, like you thought the liberals, when they take your war zone weapon, AR-15, away, that it was a doorway to taking the rest of the guns, when it never was. It was just trying to protect your children that you don't give a fuck about. Because you love the gun more. Obvious. By how you vote. What you preach. You love the gun more than your children. It's that simple. No other way to look at it. That's a sad existence. I feel sorry for your kids. I really do. Look what so many of you MAGA gun-loving families have turned out. Your progeny. Mass fucking shooters. Because you glorified guns and killing certain people. Your whole fucking life in front of your children. God, I feel sorry for them. Foreign Terror Org. Antifa doesn't exist, therefore they need to make it exist. So they need to point to you or me or whoever they fucking feel like and say, you're Antifa, you're a foreign terror, you're part of a foreign terror organization. Now we can send you to a concentration camp in Rwanda or CCOT or anywhere we feel like. And it was always going there, son. From day one. I knew it before the election. That's what the table's being set. That's why the phrase foreign terror org is used. Twice. Trump just posted this video claiming that Democrats are the party of transgender for everybody. It looks like this. Of course, Pelosi's in there because, you know, it really works well on the Rubes. Pelosi, not a convicted felon. Your orange pedophile messiah is. That's the difference between you, him, and Miss Pelosi. Transgender for everybody. Again, the latest phrase that Donnie pulled straight out of his shitty diaper. He's been using for weeks now. What the fuck is transgender for? What does that even mean? You hillbilly cunts. You geriatrics that watch Fox News. What the fuck does transgender for everyone even mean? It's meaningless. It means nothing. It's an old dementia-ridden fucking Nazi destined for the lake, coming up with some bullshit straight out his diaper to throw at the wall for your dumbass. Because again, phrases like transgender forever, that, oh, the Rubes go, oh my God, Jesus. That's not Christian, but concentration camps, masked men with machine guns kidnapping people, smashing windows in babies' faces. That is Christian, right, Rubes? Nope. Fucking transgender. When I hear phrases like that, I hear pure rubery, stupidity, idiocy. I'm talking about a goddamn flea on the ground. That's how fucking stupid you are if you take that seriously for even a second. Transgender, it's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't even make sense. But the little 4-year-old orange child with a diaper full of shit knows it works on you grown-ass people. Rubes. People down with the right. Evil people. And some of you are just so dumb. Again, your grandpappy, your daddy, all since 1945, they hear worthless phrases like that and they gave the empire away to it. You're the final crop that put the final nail in your granddaddy's coffin of belief. All that shit he taught you. Straight from McCarthy-ass right-winger since 1945. He was a dumbass, his son was a dumbass, and you a dumbass. How do I know that you're a dumbass? Transgender for everybody, and people take that seriously. That's how I know. Here's the puppy killer again, later on in the roundtable fake news Antifa doesn't exist meeting. Any elected official that allows this to happen and gives cover to those kind of individuals who are perpetrating murder should absolutely be prosecuted. In my opinion, that's the stage being set to arrest Pritzker, the mayor of Chicago. Pay attention, Mr. Pritzker. Pay attention, Mayor of Chicago. That statement was aimed right at you. Mr. Newsom, I expect him to be arrested at some point. I expect Pritzker and the Mayor of Chicago to be arrested at some point. They're saying it right here. What do you think this vagary coded language is? What's sad is they're not even good liars. They're wearing the Reich and the word Nazi on all their sleeves, and it's fucking transparently obvious. And everyone just lets it happen, and I don't know, 35% of the population is loving it. Any elected official that allows this to happen gives cover to those kind of individuals who are perpetrating murder should absolutely be prosecuted, in my opinion. Well, the Reich and Donnie are perpetrating murder on fishermen in the Caribbean. They make jokes about it. That the fishermen don't want to come out anymore because we might blow them up. We're not at war. So they're murderers. That's simple. But I know you're more concerned about the people getting abortions because you're not going to take care of their child. They can't afford to take care of their child. Or they were raped or whatever. God ain't going to fucking take care of the child. You're not worried about the fishermen that get blown up, right? That's fine. Just as long as they weren't a fetus in someone's womb at the moment. Okay for you to murder them. Okay. Again, setting the stage to arrest Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago and any liberal judges. They've already arrested several of them. When the ICE fat-ass Gestapo mass goons would charge into these courtrooms, judges aren't used to that kind of thing. And some of them got a little upset, and that's exactly what they were looking for. And what they're looking for with the fat fucks in masks with machine guns, they're looking for a response. Same way Hitler sent the brown shirts into different areas of Germany to provoke a response. Then he eliminated them when he didn't need them anymore. Let me repeat that again. Then he eliminated them when he didn't need them anymore. Excuse me, didn't need them anymore. I'm tired. The brown shirts. Again, the round table. Oh, you get a wide shot for greater context. Isn't it beautiful? A lot of white, I notice. Trying to tell us something here? How will you decide which workers get back pay and which workers do not? My God, this, again, the evil. Donnie has made 3-4 comments about intentionally withholding back pay from people. Trump, well, we're going to see. Most of them are going to get back pay, and we're going to try and make sure of that. But some of them are being hurt very badly by the Democrats, and they therefore won't qualify. It's not the Democrats making the decision for them not to qualify. It's the fat orange cunt in a diaper with a load of shit in his pants. What is he basically saying here? And he said this in 3-4 different ways over the past days. Oh, yes, we're going to eliminate some jobs, and those jobs are never coming back. Some of them are being hurt very badly by the Democrats, and they, therefore, won't qualify. In other words, we're only going to try and give it to non-liberals. That's what he's trying to say here. And he's trying to blame that on the Democrats. They didn't want to lay people off. What the fuck they got to do with it? Oh, nothing. Again, the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old knows you 4-year-olds out there that are down with the Reich and you rubes out there. The second you hear the word Democrat, it all makes sense to you. Because you're the good guys, right? And that liberals are evil, right? No. It's the exact opposite, actually. How do I know that? Well, the liberals are the ones being persecuted by you, who are destined for the lake. Lest ye turn away, which you won't. Because he's grifting, because he's lying, because he's building a Reich, and they can't do any actual work and get a budget together like normal humans. Let's blame it all on the Democrats, and we'll fire people, and we'll try and withhold back pay as well. And we'll do layoffs because we're evil and we want to punish everyone. And blame it on the Democrats. Fucking incredible, man. I have an idea. Donnie loves to make threats of taking people's jobs away, money away, livelihoods. What if we as a society took Donnie shitbags and we took all his money and everything away? Left him standing on the corner with a diaper, no options. And then we laughed at him about it. That's the equivalent of what your orange messiah cunt is doing to people. Been doing it since you cunts gave him the keys back. Be kind of messed up if we did it to him, right? That'd be wrong, right? Right, Rubes? Donnie probably wouldn't like it that much. He's never made any money. He's only gotten money from his father, from the IRS, lying on his taxes. Huge refunds. Or he paid zero. None of his businesses ever made a fucking profit. They all went bankrupt. I'll read a little, well, now I'll read the whole thing. Where are we at here? Donnie put this post up in the midst of today or yesterday and the Antifa roundtable. Because Donnie, again, two thoughts on his mind. What can I do for Satan today? Who can I subjugate, lie about, steal from, kill? And can I get the Nobel Peace Prize? Because I really want that. They wouldn't let me be Pope. They got mad at me for asking for that one. Maybe I can get the Peace Prize after blowing up fishermen. I am proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon. Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as first steps toward a strong, durable, everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America, and we thank you, mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. The peacemakers at gunpoint. What did I tell you? The Palestinians, the Gazans, they have no choice. What I forgot to tell you is there's an extra reason why they have no choice. These countries he mentioned here, Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, they all helped. They were all on board. What do you think Donnie's little Arab tour was about besides taking bribes? This Israel-Palestine thing, what he wants to do in the future. Where all roads lead, son, what I told you. Remember in his threatening letter to Hamas, I forgot to point this out. He talked about how so many countries in the Arab world are down with this deal because Donnie did a little Arab tour and he made sure they were down. And he made sure that Hamas could not say no. Because Hamas would have been saying no to Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, all the other countries Donnie made deals with, Muslim countries. In other words, son, Hamas's own team said you better sign the deal. Because we with Donnie, we ain't with you. So when Donnie made that threat to Hamas and to the Palestinians, the Gazans, and said, you better agree, or we're, Bibi's going to have carte blanche, one. Plus, all these countries of the Muslim world want you to agree. They down with me. They made deals with me. Hamas saw that. They realized, yeah, we can't fight anymore. Our own financiers are telling us no. Vlad ain't sending money no more. Because Vlad part of the Reich too. Vlad's a white supremacist too. Why do you think Vlad calls all the Ukrainians Nazis all the time? Because Vlad's one. Vlad inverts reality for a living. He's a dictator. That's what Donnie's doing as well. Blessed are the peacemakers, says the Antichrist, who has the Gaza is Ash, one, and he has the Gazans and Hamas basically saying, we've got no allies, we've got nowhere to turn. We have no choice. That's not a peace deal, son. So here we are with Donnie at the fake Antifa fake news roundtable. Earlier today you said the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois should be jailed. Have you asked the Justice Department to look at possible charges? No, I've seen the law. Donnie's learned his lesson. He can't say out loud anymore that, yeah, I asked the Justice Department to go after him. His posts online saying, Pam, we got to arrest these people. He's trying to go a different route because he knows saying that stuff out loud will get him in The Hague or in prison or impeached. No, I've seen the law. No, he told his people to go after these people. Why do you think Miss Bondi and Miss Noam gave those little speeches today? And when you have a group of people where the police call off the safety for ICE officials, what protection do these cunts need? They got machine guns and full tactical gear. I've understood, and then I've read it today in numerous journals, that it's illegal. No, it's not illegal, son. What's illegal is deploying the U.S. military against U.S. citizens for nothing. That's literally illegal. That's impeachable. In fact, that's imprisonable. But you gave the keys to a dictator, and one political party has no intention of ever removing him. He could shoot 5 of them in the head on TV, and they still wouldn't impeach him. And he could say the rest of you are next. They still wouldn't impeach you. That's how gone these fucks are. Secured their places in the lake, son. Utterly secure. No, Donnie didn't see the law. He went to his cunt puppy killer. He went to Miss Bondi, and he said, go after these people. But he's been caught about 9 times saying it, posting it out loud, that he instructed his Reich to go after these people. Literally what you're not supposed to do. No, he hasn't understood any law. He's understood Mein Kampf and Hitler's speeches, and he wants to be Hitler. In fact, he is. His Reich is moving along quite nicely, and there ain't a goddamn person stopping anything. And at this point, once he has the keys, the only people that can stop it are the military. And again, no one would have to die. Will they ever do that? No. They'll sit there, be mad, bow their head, make jokes, talk shit behind his back, as they're asked to subjugate the American public on fucking television. That's what they'll do. And we're going to end with this. Setting the table to arrest rich liberals, which I've been saying since day one would happen. Do you know the names of any of the funders? I don't know who he's talking to, but he's talking to one of these cunts at the table. Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like to give them to Cash or Pam or Christie. These are people that do not have good intentions for the country, and that's treasonous, probably. Funders. Intentions we're talking about, not laws broken. Meanwhile, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, defamer, and fraud. Pedophile. Known. Staged a coup against this country to be a dictator. Stole 3,000 classified documents. The FBI took him back, and then when you gave him the keys, he brought him back to the shitter. You voted for treason, son. And the only one guilty of treason. That fat orange cunt right there in the middle. That's why they throw that word of all the rest of us. The whole Republican Party damn near took part in that coup. Cabinet members, FBI took part for Donnie, not for us. Chris Miller withheld help intentionally. Donnie withheld help intentionally as cops were beaten. They tried to make him a dictator. He staged a coup against our government. And he says others are guilty of treason, the people that tried to hold him accountable. I bet Mr. Comey regrets doing that bullshit investigation for the 90th time into Hillary right before the election. Mr. Comey, I do have a certain amount of respect for you. It's a shame you let your Republican bias ruin your life. Because Donnie ain't done with you by a damn sight, son. If you ain't standing on a gallows or at a guillotine at some point, I'll be surprised. I know I'll be standing at one. I noticed a lot of you, though, didn't know you'd be standing at one. as wise and moneyed and high profile positions you were able to get from this spinning ball of shite. This worthless reality. All they're doing is inverting reality using the word treason, calling people that tried to hold them accountable, calling them traitors. MAGA, you're the traitors. You voted for a traitor 3 times. You supported a traitor. And that traitor will lead every one of you to the abyss. So what did we have here? We had a meeting about a group that does not exist that should terrify you because they're going to make it exist, and that's going to be you, son. Whoever they feel like labeling it. And you're going to be part of a foreign terror group so they can deport you. U.S. citizens being exiled, banished. Did you ever think it would happen? I knew it would happen 10 years ago. That's why I've been screaming for 10 years. That's why I'm screaming now. And I can't honestly express fully my disgust for this fucking realm. All you cunts that made this happen and gave it away to cunt Bondi, cunt fucking Gnome, and fat orange cunt with a shitty diaper Donnie. Why did you give those people the keys to the kingdom and our reality? Because you're just like them. And you going where they going. The man will not be pleased. Have a good day.